Hey, welcome back guys, I'm Mediocre Gaming and today we'll be doing a E2 Luocha Theorycrafting at its provisional level, and one of the comments I've received from this guy called Rosrier is that, in short, he made me realize that Luocha can sustain without a shielder unit, and that is true. Apparently that turned out true. So I yesterday managed to upload a video showing that Clara team does not need much 7th in order to sustain. So what is the holy trifecta of building a team is that you need to survive. That's number one. That's paramount to any situation. And number two is that you have a damage dealer or hyper carry that can carry through with or without weakness break. And number three is that you have your supports who can also sustain and deliver output. So that is number three. So that's the three holy trifectas of building a team. So now Luocha, unfortunately, cannot sustain. So he falls off from the first part of the holy trifecta when building a team. So let's read Rosrier's comment. Thank you for making this video. I've also Luocha E2S1 healing boost chest piece is too much heal. Yep, I know that because I also tested that 4k plus HP, and to be honest, not many characters including main DPS have 4k plus HP, so why are you investing on outgoing healing boost chest piece in the first place? So that is my argument that I stated that day. And also his defense stat is probably one of the lowest in the game right now. Yes, that is true. That is even lower than Tingyun. So after watching this, I switched to defense body piece, and he still heals a lot, like 3k to 4k plus HP. And then again, guys, 3k HP on his skill is overkill. 2k to 2.5k HP is just the sweet spot, but I think 3k on healing is just overkill still. So especially with E2. Yeah, because E2, right, he heals at 50% allies at full health and also provide them with a shield, scaling 18% of his attack. So even when I change Space Healing Station to Xianzhou Luofu, which is a Fleet of the Ageless, both HP Roadman or with 2k8 attack Luocha, he still heals like 3k plus HP, which is still a lot. Yes, that's true. And it's too much. Even 2.8k is a bit too much already, in my honest opinion. So now my Luocha at E2S1 at level 70 have 4.5k HP, 1.1k defense, 2.8k attack, and 126 speed. Chasers are at level 6. He can pretty much survive on his own and doesn't need to be paired with a tank anymore. Alright, so this is the comment that made me realize I can run Pela in my team instead of March 7th, and it holds very true to what I uploaded yesterday. Because yesterday I made a new Clara team, a brand new hyper carry team in MOC 9, and I've proven it. But I think at E0, without signature like Cone, he might need more attack, hence less defensive stats. That is very true, because the signature like Cone gives a 24% attack on by default. So that is what powers Luocha really much. So if you don't have his signature like Cone, then it's not really good to run Luocha in the field. That's what I think. So I really think that his signature like Cone gives a very, very high advantage and a significant boost. So I said to him, you understand well that Tingyun is almost equal or weaker in terms of survivability, and I tested it out. This is really true. Even with my level 50 Pela with a level 60 resolution shines as per of sweat, and when I tested this, I used March 7's Knight of Purity Palace. Guess what, guys? Both of them can tank as well as Luocha. So level 50 Pela with level 60 Light Code can actually tank the same or equal amount or a little bit more damage than Luocha at 1600 defense and around 1000, I think 1200 HP if I'm not mistaken. So she can actually do the same amount of tanking damage. So, and I find that funny actually. So even with traces at level 2 to 3, healing is still overkill in most scenarios provided you have an invested healer from my testing today. And that is actually true. You don't need to actually have a level 6 skill or level 6 talent to have the most optimal healing. That's the thing. Because why so? Healing is overkill at level 2 or 3. So when I read his comment, I also realized that too much defense is not good, because he needs a HP rope or HP piece to balance out the diminishing returns of like overflowing HP wastage. So this is why HP and defense are good, especially on Luocha, and this is also reinforced. The fact is reinforced on his traces, where everything is focused on the holy trifecta, which is HP, attack, and defense in his kit. So this is why I think HP and defense body is actually really good instead of a defense rope and a defense body. So that's why I come to realize that also. So come to think of it, if you don't use Space Healing Station, you will suffer on your attack, but you will get more support and survivability on your Luocha. That's the thing. So I think Fleet of Ageless is a good to go thing, but you will need an S2 Light Cone to balance out his healing. So, and his energy regen, because you know Space Healing Station gives a lot of healing, but Fleet of Ageless is just pure support overall. And Luocha needs to do more actions in order to heal. That's why I think S2 Light Cone will be necessary, or S3, because of the 0.5 energy regen on S2. But on S3, it removes the 0.5 on the numbering. So that's why he will just get 4 energy per hit on different enemy. And I think 3.5 is not the way to go. I think 4 energy is the way to go, and that is S3. But S3 is really expensive, and I want to test it out even further. So this is my Luocha's kit at the time of testing, and I've shown it all to you already. So he has a 13 level shielding body or a defense body, 2 attack ropes, no, 2 attack 2-piece, the rope and the sphere is attack, speed boots, as well as your general HP and attack flat. And this is my start so far, and I can tell you from these stats, Luocha is not able to sustain 2 OE hits from Kafka. That's the thing. So Kafka is able to 2-shot Luocha in this build, and I don't think this is the way to build Luocha in the long run. And not many people realize that Luocha has a base 100 ton value, so keep that in mind. But to be fair, actually, Tingyan also gets a fair amount of ton, despite being a Harmony character at level 75, and she's actually tanking more than Luocha in the current state. So I had to revise my build and give some expected main stats, and these are the stats that you need at a minimum, but not the absolute 0 minimum to make your Luocha survive. So you can either run a 4.5k HP, a 1.1k defense, a set from Rosrier, or you, from my calculation, you can also run at least 3850 HP and 1500 defense. So this is actually a very good start pool, and this is not very hard to achieve, guys. It's not very hard to achieve. It's possible. So let's look at the start investment tier list. Before that, we will have S+, which is speed, and every one of your Musketeer of Wildwe or Knight of Purity Palace substars must have speed in order to make Luocha work. And Luocha really works well at 134 speed, which is actually a breakpoint in the 7 cycle long run. So that is why speed is S+. And for your S rank, it will be defense and HP, but defense is preferred first because defense scales higher in the survivability department compared to HP percentage. And this is especially true for Luocha's kit. So at A tier, we don't need to attack. We don't need to invest in attack. You know why? Because you have your signature light code. You have space healing station. They will do the work for you already. So attack percentage is not really needed. So if you want me to actually build a holy trifecta start, it will be speed, defense, and HP for Luocha. And effect rest, although nice to have, and I said already that effect rest is such an underrated start in the entire game, this holds true especially for all support characters. However, for Luocha, since we have Through the Valley at his level 70 ability, effect rest just falls from S tier to A tier because Through the Valley provides 70% crowd control resist. So that's why effect rest comes to A. And on the B tier, which is niche, because not many people use imaginary breaking in M-onke, we have energy regeneration as well as effect hit rate. And now energy regeneration falls further to B because Pela is present in the field. So Pela is actually acting as a support backup, a backup support for dispels, for buff dispels and removing buffs. So that's why energy regeneration falls to B. And effect hit rate is not needed unless you're using imprisoned team. But imprisoned teams are very uncommon in the game, so that's why. But if you want to go for effect hit rate, I suggest that you use a weld team instead, because weld is imprisoned gameplay. So in the F tier, we have Outgoing Healing Boost, which I already covered and said so many times in my comments. I'm not going to apologize for that. It's so terrible. It's like wasting one slot in your relic composition. If you're going to have Outgoing Boost on your body, you might as well not even pull Luocha in the first case, because it's just a waste of your relics and your allocation of stats. That's why Outgoing Healing Boost is F tier. Crit and crit rate and crit damage. So basically those are not needed at Luocha at all because he's not doing the damage. Damage percentage, imaginary boost, all that, forget it, skip. Because again, Luocha is not a damager, he's healer. I mean, Tingyun is also like a sub DPS in a way, but the thing is, she doesn't even need to use lightning damage boost. So why are you investing like imaginary damage percentage on Luocha? It doesn't make sense, right? So okay, break effect also is not good because, like I said, break effect is also better in the early game, but in the late game, however, you have crit doing the main job, so that is not the play for Luocha build. So break effect falls to F tier in the same direction. Alright, we're back again. So coming back to our builds, we have a Tingyun version 2.1 build, and the reason why it's called so is because we're using the same relic setup as Tingyun. So this is Luocha's build called Tingyun V2.1, and I use this build in M-onke 10, and this is the actual Tingyun's build. However, the only thing that's different here is just Fleet of the Ageless and Space Healing Station. That's the only difference, but the main stats are the same. So that is just the only ignorable fact here. However, I can easily tell that by looking at the stats here, we can see that Tingyun is still able to tank more than Luocha. Reason why so is because, like I said earlier, defense is scaling higher on the survivability department compared to HP, and that's true. So my Tingyun 2.1 build will be defense body, leg attack, leg speed, sorry about that, rope, which is attack percentage, or ER, but then the Tingyun I'm using ER because she doesn't need her attack more. But for Luocha I'm using attack percentage. And Sphere is attack, both of them having attack sphere by the way, and Light Cone is all S1. But Tingyun, the difference is that she doesn't have a 5-star Light Cone, she's having dance at S5. So that's the only difference here. But still the same build nevertheless in terms of main start distribution. So, right. So what I commented about this build is that there's good speed, field healing, and shield durability, and there's a good balance of them. But the thing is, Luocha is not able to take more hits than Tingyun, and I feel that healing is quite overkill since he heals more than 3k, and I need to optimize this. So looking at Rosaria's build again, we are going to make a build based on his recommendations, and from what I found is that I'm not sure what 4-piece he's using, but I'm guessing it's 4-piece Huawei. His 2-piece is definitely Fleet of Ageless, but he says Xianzhou Luofu, so it is Xianzhou Luofu, another name. So defense percentage as what he said here, and then speed, HP, and HP Rope and Sphere as what he also said. And I'm not sure about his light code. He said S1, right? Yeah, S1. So this means that allies get the attack support compared to Space Healing Station, and there's more survivability because why so? Fleet of the Ageless provides a max HP increase of 12%. And so by having more HP, he will be having more HP pool to tank the multi AoE cast shots. Now, why I say multi-hit AoE is because a lot of enemies in MOC 9 and 10 are going to hit the same character if you're unlucky. And the same character will get hit by multi-hits as well as single hits. And these attacks normally are stringed in 3 times per cycle. So that's why it's very important to mention multi-hit AoE shots. That's okay. So S2 might be needed to balance both attack and energy regeneration as well as speed. Because without Musketeer of Wild Weed, you lose your speed bonus. That's 6% speed bonus. Yep. So that's the dual start magnification that he has revealed and given to me. And I find that viable. However, I think this can be improved even more because there's too much HP in his kit. So what I do is that I put in attack on his sphere so that he gains extra shield survivability and durability as well as better field outgoing field boost, healing boost. So since his fields all scale on attack anyway, so I decided to make a build like this, so defense, speed, HP, and attack. So, and the light cone I'm planning to go for is S2 with a Fleet of Ageless and a 4-piece Huawei or a 2-piece Huawei and a Night Purity Palace. So the thing is, you might need S2 to balance out the attack to get extra 4% attack as well as getting extra speed from the ultimate activation as well as energy regen. Since he's losing out on speed anyway, so it's better to get S2 or S3 like cone. So this is my so-called proposed improved tri-start magnification build. And the reason why it's called light cone duo or tri-start magnification is that the light cone gives 3 starts: HP, attack, and defense. So the thing is, you need to balance out all the stats because Luocha heavily relies on each one of them as well as speed. And why is it called start magnification is that it's what the light cone gives you. These are the stats that the light cone gives you. So those are also called hard stats in a way. So my also I also made a defense magnification build with a 4-piece Knight Purity Palace. I tried that out, but it doesn't work as well since you sacrifice HP and then there's like too much defense already here. But the thing is, you get good survivability overall, but you will need a shielder character for this since his healing potential is decreased in the defense magnification build. So with this build, there's more chance for him to sustain 50% HP, and this also optimizes HP at the overflow since remember it's E2, so he'll be healing quite a lot from below 50 and above 50% HP. So by placing a HP and a defense body here, you can optimize the anti-HP overflow. So that's what I feel that is good here. So as well as getting a defense boost. So S2 might be needed to balance the stats, but not speed, not attack in this case is because the sphere provides attack. But now you need to balance your speed and the healing capabilities because speed also directly translates to healing capabilities. So, okay, your best teammates here will be Clara and March 7th. But however, when I tested this yesterday, the Prayer of Abyss Flower needs to activate as much as possible so that Luocha gains more energy regeneration and healing, and as well as easier to maintain field uptime so that less ultimates are used. So March 7th and Clara could be the second best build because March 7th effectively prevents Luocha from activating Prayer of Abyss Flower. So the new best team I tested yesterday, which is a new hyper carry Clara build, will be Clara, Pela, and Ting Yun, as well as Luocha with as a 4th slot. So this is the best team that you can run. And the thing is, you can also use Fire MC with a Landau's Choice or a Moment of Victory, but Moment of Victory is much preferred. And this build is only used where you want to use Zila or Jingyuan or other defense and attack characters with Luocha, and you don't want to use Clara in that team. Right, so that's your second choice, best teammate. But the other teammate I can recommend is Japat, but the problem is you won't be using your Abyss Flower most of the time, Prayer of the Abyss Flower, since the thing is, when I mean Prayer of Abyss Flower, I mean auto heal, the auto heal capability, right? So that is very important, and Japat actually prevents the use of this, so it's actually quite bad. But if you don't want to use Prayer of Abyss Flower for some reason, you can, but you will need to change your build. And for this Japat build, I will be proposing you to use a Japat Overload build, which will have 4-piece Musketeer of Wildweed, as well as attack percentage body and your speed legs, your attack percentage rope, and as well as an attack sphere. And Light Cone S1 is good enough since there's way too much attack here already. So this is your Japat Overload build, and I'm going to remove the remarks because I have not tested this out. So this is the proposed build if you want to use Luocha in the Japat setup. But again, not recommended because you don't use the Prayer of Abyss Flower, which is auto heal. Right, so this is my Luocha Theorycrafting, and big shout out to Rosaria right again and again. Thank you so much for providing me such an insightful comment. It was one of the best comments I've ever read in my channel. Thank you so much for providing data, and you've convinced me to remove March 7 from my team as well as put Pela back into my team. And holy shit, Pela does wonders with Clara and Luocha. That is so good. Pela and Luocha are like husband wife together. That was so good. I love that. Alright, cheers.